1 week from tonight, October 5th, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, will be heard at this time over most of these same CBS stations.
We offer you Escape, starring Van Heflin. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are trapped in the dank darkness of a ruined plantation house. Somewhere in the pitch-black room is a homicidal maniac armed with a knife, groping for you, trying to prevent your escape.
Tonight, with Van Heflin as John Woolfolk, we escape to a deserted sandpit off the coast of Georgia, where terror stalks under the Spanish moss, as Joseph Hergesheimer tells it in Wild Oranges.
What could have appeared more innocent of danger than that barren, low-lying shore of southern Georgia? What could have seemed less laden with terror than that lovely little cove, so tranquil and well-sheltered, so warmly bathed in late afternoon sun as we dropped the anchor of our ketch and prepared our mooring? And yet there was something. First, it was an aroma. A grove of wild orange trees in late bloom grew defiantly amid the tangled undergrowth of the shore. The scent was strong and exotic and heady. And as I smelled it, I felt a vague uneasiness. Then, as I watched the shore and Halbert, my sailor, unfurl the sails, the mirror of the cove was shattered by a movement. At first, I thought it was a fish leaping and playing in the water. Came round a spit of land from an inner bay, and then Halbert was beside me.
That's queer, sir. I would have bet there was nobody within miles of here, but that's someone swimming.
Yes, that's a girl.
Aye, sir. She'll be surprised when she discovers us, no doubt.
And embarrassed. She swims well, doesn't she?
Yes, sir.
She had been born in the water.
Oh, she's seen us.
Yes. Now she's running away. Hey, that's Brentwood winning an Olympic race, huh?
Yes, sir.
I wonder what she's doing here, where she comes from.
Perhaps there, sir.
Where?
Through the trees. There's a house there. You can hardly see it. I spotted it a moment ago.
Yes, so there is. I know, but it's a ruin. It's rotting away. No one could have lived in that since the Civil War.
There may be others back there, sir.
I know, but this is a deserted coast. It's marked as a swamp on the chart.
Well, I don't know, sir.
Huh. This is strange. It's very strange. Yes, it was strange. And stranger still was this vague uneasiness that I felt. As twilight fell, the aroma of the wild oranges was overwhelming. And suddenly, without knowing why, I slipped on my jacket and went to the side and dropped into the tender. Halbert stood by to cast off. He asked no questions, and I said nothing. What could I say? I didn't know myself why I was going. I pulled the tender up on the soft sand of the beach and walked up a dim path through the orange grove. Around the side of the house, where a smaller portico held off the weeds, a single doorway was framed in the pale light of the inner lamp. As I approached, I saw a shadow flit across it so swiftly, so furtively, that it was gone before I realized it had been a man. And then I saw her, sitting on the portico, rocking softly in her chair.
What do you want?
Oh, nothing. I came ashore. I thought no one was living here.
You're from the white boat that sailed in at sunset?
Yes, and I'm returning immediately.
It was like magic. Suddenly, without a sound, you were anchored in the bay.
Well, I've robbed you, too. I picked a couple of your oranges.
You won't like them. They run wild. We can't sell them.
Well, they have a distinct flavor. I should be very glad to have some of them on the boat.
All you want.
Well, my man will get them and pay you.
Please don't. Nicholas attends to that. Won't you sit down? My father was here when you came up, but he went in. Strangers disturb him.
I should be getting back. I'm sorry to have disturbed you and your father.
No, it's nothing.
Well, good night, then.
Good night.
That was all, a fragment of commonplace conversation, but it was enough. Now the uneasiness I felt, the strangeness of this place took shape for me. I saw it in her lovely, fragile face. I heard it in her voice. There'd been a hidden terror, a terrible, controlled fright that approached hysteria. But when I got back to the boat, Halvard made it even worse.
Find anything, sir?
Well, there are people living there.
Well, there'll be water then. Maybe we can stay here for a couple of days.
What do you mean?
Well, this is good anchorage. I'd like to unship the propeller, and there's some scraping to do.
Yes, I suppose you're right. We need a couple of days of work before we head into the open sea.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we'll do it here. And so we stayed. In the light of morning, the strange dread I had felt seemed foolish, and especially when I went ashore and found the girl looking young and fresh and fragile. She was fishing off a little pier in the inner bay. She had a pathetic little rod and reel, and so I got our tackle from the boat and landed a big rockfish for her, enough for several dinners. We were carrying the fish to the house when we came on a pale, thin ghost of a man. He's sitting on the portico. He started a swift retreat, but it was too late.
Father, wait. This is my father, Litchfield Stowe.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Millie, you know strangers.
Father, you know I wouldn't bring anyone to the house who would hurt us. And see, we're fetching you a splendid rockfish.
Yes. Just so we're alone here. The man is away. My daughter and I fish is acceptable.
If you'll carry it in for me, Nicholas would do it, but he's away, and Father isn't strong. This way. We have no ice. I must put it in water. In here, right there. Thank you. You've been very nice. Now I suppose you'll go on across the world?
Well, not tonight. We're staying here making repairs.
Where do you come from? Where are you going?
Oh, from Cape Cod. I'm going to South America.
South America. I've traveled on maps. I was born here in this house. I've never been 50 miles away.
You seem like a girl who's been everywhere in the world. You've had the best education, everything.
My father has many books in there, that's all.
You're, you know, your eyes are remarkable. They're magnetic. Well, there's something else in your eyes and in your voice. What is it? Fear?
Fear? Why, no, of course not. What should I be afraid of?
Well, I don't know, but I saw it in your father's face, too.
It's only your imagination.
Yes, no doubt. Well, goodbye, then, and thank you for the fishing. Strange how this girl would have upset me so. I tried to resist, but that evening I found myself going back to her. Tying the tender to the little pier, I watched her as she came to meet me.
I'm glad you came. Let's stay here by the sea. It's so lovely in the moonlight.
All right. Oh, it is nice here, isn't it?
Nicholas is back.
Nicholas?
He's our man. I lied to you today about fear. I suppose I am afraid. I suppose my father's passed some of his fear on to me.
Why is he afraid?
Well, that's a long story going back to the First War. He was a young man then, and he didn't go to war. It wasn't that he was a coward exactly. He just couldn't adjust to it mentally. People laughed at him and threatened him. And that's when a sort of perpetual fear started. He ran away, met my mother and married, and they came here. None of us has ever left this lonely place. Never will, perhaps.
And your mother?
She's dead. Loneliness killed her. Perhaps it's no wonder that I sound timid and afraid. Perhaps I am.
Aren't you lonely, too?
I don't know anything else. But what about you? Who are you that you go sailing about the world with only a sailor for company?
No, I'm nobody. My name is John Woolfolk.
And you do nothing but sail about the world?
Nothing.
Why?
Oh, well, let's say that I don't like modern society. Let's say that I don't like entanglements.
I see.
Oh, no, I didn't
you
mean
needn't
that.
apologize. I envy you your freedom. I sit here a great deal and watch the ships far out there on their water roads. You are enviable, sailing where you like, safe and free. Safe, free.
There's something more than you've told me. There's more behind this fear in your voice.
No.
Well, look, perhaps I can help
No,
it.
please.
Oh. What's that?
It's Nicholas. He's blowing on the conch. I've got to go in.
Wait a minute. I'll come with
please,
you.
No, don't come. You'll be going soon?
Tomorrow, perhaps.
Then, goodbye. Goodbye.
Now I knew the terror that I had only sensed was real. This girl was possessed by fear. This house held some terrible secret. What could it be? Next morning, Halford went in to fill a cask for water. He came back without the cask, and he was livid with rage.
There's an idiot in that house, sir. Next time I'll take the pistol.
What do you mean? Where's the cask?
It's broken, sir.
How? How did you...
I was filling it at the cistern, and this idiot, a huge, hulking brute, came out of the house. He told me to get away. Well, I tried to explain we had permission, but he came at me with a knife, gibbering. He put his foot on the cask and crushed it.
Well, I'll see about this.
Be careful, sir. The man's not quite right. He's dangerous. Plenty dangerous.
I went ashore and around to the back door of the house. Millie wasn't in sight. When I knocked, a lumbering giant with pig-like eyes came to the door. Are you, Nicholas?
What do you want?
Well, I take it you're the man who broke my water cask.
It was full of our
Look,
water.
I'm not going to argue with you. I came ashore to instruct you to keep your hands off of my property and my sailor.
And let our water be.
I told you that I wouldn't discuss the water. I don't have to justify myself to you. Just remember, keep your hands off.
Don't get me started.
What do you mean, started? I don't care what you do.
Don't get me started. Mind now, I want you. Don't get me started.
Put down that knife.
Go away. Don't get me started now. Go away.
Stand back.
Don't get me started.
Nicholas, stop. What is this? What's the matter?
Well, nothing. Nicholas and I had a little misunderstanding, that's all.
You tell this man, Millie. Tell him to go. And don't get me started.
Nicholas, put down that knife! Now, Mr. Wolford, please. Please go.
I have never seen such terror in a woman's eyes. I felt completely helpless as I turned. I went on back to the boat. But mingled with her terror, I'd seen something else in Millie's eyes. There was a plea. And I knew there'd be another meeting between me and Nicholas. That night, a storm broke, a raging wind and rain to match my tortured mood. I hardly slept. Millie's face was always before my eyes, and by morning I knew that I must do something. I rode the tender in through a drizzling rain. I went up through the orange grove and stopped in some bushes by the house. Someone was coming out of the house, and so I crouched down out of sight. It was Millie. I rose, and I called to her, Millie!
Oh, it's you. I was just coming out to look. I was afraid you'd gone out. The sea's like a pack of wolves.
I won't go alone. Now, you not without you, I won't.
What are you saying? That's madness.
No, I've got to talk to you. There's a lot that needs explaining. Things that I have a right to know.
No, not here. Come.
She led me into one of the smaller ruined buildings. We crouched far back in the dripping shadows of a corner.
No.
Millie, for the first time in 12 years, I'm living again. Darling, I'm in love with you.
I know nothing of love.
It's quickly learned. Millie, don't you feel anything from me at all?
I don't know. Perhaps if things were different, someplace else, I might care very much.
But I'm going to take you away someplace else. I'm going to make things different. I'm going to give you a chance.
Oh, no, it's Too late.
Why?
You came too late.
Why? Millie, what is this? What is this fear?
Nicholas.
Oh, that's foolish. He's nothing to be afraid of. Has he been bothering you?
He says he's crazy about me. He says I must marry him.
Where is he now?
Oh, no, John, you mustn't. Something frightful would happen, John.
Not
no.
frightful, just unfortunate for Nicholas.
But you don't understand. He's not human. There's something about him.
What about him?
He came here in April. We were glad to get him. Servants are impossible to get back here in the wilderness, and he'd work for the smallest wages. Only a few days ago, I found out why he was glad to be here. I was cleaning his room, and I found this.
Let me see that. Wanted for murder, Isaac Nicholas. A homicidal maniac.
He knows I found it. He knows, and he's been furious. And then you came, and he ran and hid in the pines. But he told me if I spoke about him, it would happen to me. And if I left with you, it would happen to Father. Now he thinks I'm in love with you. He told me to send you away. He said you must leave today.
Millie, I should have realized this.
I'm not to stay away for longer than now. I must go, John.
Look, Millie. It'll take us a couple of hours to get our boat ready. I'm going to come for you tonight at 8. Now, you tell him that you saw me and I promised to go. Act quietly. Say that you were upset, that you'll give him his answer tomorrow. Then at 8, you bring your father and walk out to the wharf. Now, that's all, but do it. Without hesitation or preparation.
Don't let him hurt us. Please don't.
Not now. He's finished. But do just as I say. It won't be long, hardly 3 hours. And then you're going to be free. Now that I knew, now that there was to be action, I felt better. Not that I minimized the risk. Halvard and I got the ketch ready for sailing. At 8 o'clock, Halvard and I tied up to the little pier. The storm had let up a little, but it was still raining. I got up on the dock and I waited for Millie. 10 minutes passed. And then 20. Something was wrong. I told Halvard to wait there with the tender. Then I walked slowly up to the house. It was dark. I went up to the side portico, to the heavy door. There was a tiny crack of light showing under it. I pushed it open. The light came from a parlor to the right. I looked in. On the floor lay a body, her father. He was dead. He was crushed. His arm twisted grotesquely under him. There wasn't a sound in the house. Slowly, I walked through the downstairs rooms. Nothing. Then, back in the hall, I heard a slight creak. Upstairs, someone had moved. Was it Millie, alive? Or was it Nicholas lying in wait? I groped slowly up the stairs. I didn't dare to use my flashlight. It would have made me a target for his knife. The upstairs hall was pitch black. Still, there was no sound. I inched my way along the wall, slowly. And then I stumbled on a loose board. The pistol flew out of my hand, but the stumble saved my life. At the same instant, I felt Nicholas lunge, heard the knife sing past my ear and thud into the wall. I felt his great bulk smashing on my shoulder. My gun was somewhere on that dark floor. His knife was embedded in the wall. Now we were grappling hand to hand, rolling on the floor, kicking, tearing, gouging, crushing. My strength and wit against the massive bulk of a maniacal killer. How many minutes did that unusual and unequal struggle last? I don't know. It seemed an hour. Several times, as if by common consent, we rested for a minute at a time. Once we rolled apart and lay panting, the breath aching in my throat. And then I heard him groping along the wall, searching for the knife or gun. I threw myself at him again. He was too big. He was too furious. I felt my strength ebbing away. His fingers were closing over my throat. With one last effort, I tried to throw him off, to roll him over. I staggered to my feet. I was dazed. I looked up. We had fallen through the banister down the stairwell. Nicholas had landed on the bottom. He lay there on the stairs, sprawled, his head at a grotesque angle. He wasn't dead. He's only stunned. I leaned against the wall, looking at him stupidly. There was something that I must remember. What was it? Then she came down the steps, and I remembered. Millie.
I had to walk right past him. There was no other way. Right past his head, and my skirt was... I think we better go away.
Millie. Oh, no. Yes, we'll leave at once.
I must tell you about my father. You know, in Virginia, the women tied an apron on the door because he wouldn't go to war. And that preyed on his mind, and he was afraid of the slightest thing.
Yes, I know, but we must
Things
go.
Things upset him so he had no strength.
To hear her talk like this, like a sick child, was almost more than I could bear. Then I heard something. Nicholas had got up. He stood up and stared at us for a moment, and then he started slowly up the stairs. He was going after that knife.
The least little thing upset him.
Millie, look, we've got to go.
Well, I was to meet a man. We were going away someplace where it would be peaceful. But Nicholas suspected, you see. He asked why Father had put on his heavy winter clothes. And then when I tried to go out, he pushed me.
Millie,
and do you know what Father did then? He came up and said, "Don't do that. Take your hands off my daughter." His lips shook a little. But he said it. That's the important thing.
Yes, of course. Your father was a brave man after all. But please, now come. You were supposed to meet a man. That man's waiting for you. There's no time to lose.
Father said, "Take your hands off my daughter." Nicholas killed him, of course. But it was a brave thing to do.
Yes, now come. I couldn't wait any longer. I could hear Nicholas coming back. I picked her up and carried her out into the night, down the path to the pier. Behind me, I could hear Nicholas crashing through the brush like a giant animal in pursuit.
Are you all right, sir?
Yes. I'm about done in, but I'm all right. Here, help me. Help me get her into the boat.
Yes, sir. There. Oh, there's someone coming,
Yes,
sir.
it's Nicholas. He's got a knife.
Good. I wanted to get back at him. You get in, sir. I'll take care of him.
All right, Albert. I wouldn't be much help anyway. Albert went to intercept Nicholas on the path. I heard them meet and struggle for a moment. And then a figure came walking slowly, stooped onto the pier. I got ready to shove the boat out into the water, and then...
It's all right, sir. It's me.
Albert, where's Nicholas?
I stopped him. He was all bumped out.
Are you hurt?
No, it's just a scratch, sir. I missed his hand at first in the dark. It's nothing.
Good. Well, let's get away from here, then. I held Millie in my arms as Halvard rowed to the ketch. Erratically, I suppose because of the storm. We were ready to cast off in 2 minutes. The last obstacle would be the narrow passage out of the cove. In this storm, it would be very dangerous. I started to take Millie into the cabin.
No! There's Nicholas in the doorway.
No nonsense. Nicholas is dead. You're on my boat. You're safe, Millie.
Safe? With John Wolford?
I am John Wolford.
But you didn't come.
Yes, I came, Millie. You're safe. Please, come.
I'd rather stay up here.
All right. You sit here beside Halford. I'm going up front to take soundings.
In this wind, you won't be able to hear me if I call,
No,
sir.
but you can hear me. Remember, we only have 3-foot clearance. Now, you'll have to hold it steady through that passage.
Yes, sir.
Halford, now, this is no time to be brave. How do you feel?
I feel all right, sir. I've taken knives before.
All right.
Just a scratch.
All right, fine. Now, we'll fix it just as soon as we get outside. All right, now, let's go. Pull up your anchor and turn over the engine.
Yes, sir.
The boat headed into the tearing wind of the storm, straight toward the narrow inlet. A foot too far on either side and we'd hit. In this sea, that would mean death for all of us. I stood far up on the bow, taking soundings, feeling out the passage. Howling wind carried the call back to Halvard. Forward! Now the boat veered again. I realized that he must have lost an awful lot of blood.
Halvard! Halvard! Steady her!
Slowly, haltingly, it came around.
3.5! Steady now!
But it was anything but steady. The boat wavered and swung as if an inexperienced hand was at the wheel. In a moment, we might hit.
3.25!
We were in the passage.
Hold steady, Halvard! Steady!
3.5. We're through.
Good boy, Halvard! Good boy!
Good boy, Halvard, I called. But when I went back, it wasn't Halvard at the wheel. It was Millie. Millie, her hands steady, her eyes washed clear of any madness. Millie with a little tight smile on her face, but no fear. And Halvard lay, rolling with the swells in the bottom of the cockpit.
I'm afraid, John. He was wounded worse than you thought.
Oh, Halvard, good
He
heavens.
told me to take the wheel. Said it was life or death, and then he slid down like
When?
that.
When was this?
Back there in the passage. Just when you said 3.5. I'm afraid I wasn't very good, but I held on.
Oh, Millie, you were wonderful.
No, not yet. But I'll learn, John. I'll learn.
Escape was produced and directed by Gordon T. Hughes, with Van Heflin starring as John Woolfolk. Tonight we have presented Wild Oranges by Joseph Hergesheimer, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Betty Lou Gerson, Bill Conrad, Edmund McDonald, Wilms Herbert. Special music was conceived and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are following a man whom you must kill to the bleak wastes of a tiny island at the bottom of the world. And you know that one of you can never escape.
Next week, we escape with John Russell's grim story of revenge, The Primitive. Good night, then, until next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Van Heflin is currently starring with Jennifer Jones, James Mason, and Louis Jourdan in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Madame Bovary. Starting 1 week from next Saturday, October 8th, Escape will take a regular place in the CBS Saturday night schedule. That's 1 week from next Saturday, October 8th, Escape. Next week at this time, you will hear CBS's latest addition to its fine Wednesday night shows, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. This outstanding comedy quiz, highlighted by Groucho's fast ad-libs, has won a Peabody Award and a high place in America's comedy favorites. Next Wednesday, it joins the parade on CBS, where it will be heard along with The Bing Crosby Show and Burns and Allen on most of these same CBS stations. Stay tuned now for The Bing Crosby Show, which follows immediately over most of these same stations. Paul Masterson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to a lonely schooner sailing through the hot Caribbean night, carrying a fortune and the heedless passions of reckless men. as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in their exciting tale, The Sure Thing.
This way, senor.
Thank you.
If you would please wait in here in the president's office.
Fine.
You understand, senor, I have not the authority to handle the matter myself.
Yes, of course I understand.
You see, a bank draft of $2 million. It is a matter of such importance. Senor Jose Perez, the president of the bank, he is the only one.
That's perfectly all right. I'll wait for Senor Perez.
Gracias, senor. Gracias.
Wait? Yes, I could wait. I'd come this far, I could afford a few more minutes. And I'd wanted to think about it, to roll it over in my mind, just as you roll a fine liqueur over your tongue to enjoy the full realization of it. It was hard to believe. Just a short while ago, I had been ship's doctor on the SS Martina, the gilded ferry boat of the Caribbean. And now, I sat back in a comfortable chair and went over the whole thing again in my mind, just the way it happened from the beginning. We had just cleared the Straits of Yucatan on our way to Havana when the 23-word message came that started the whole thing.
Same thing, Doc. SOS, latitude 23 north, longitude 85 west. Accident case on board schooner Sidon en route to Havana. Urgently need doctor. Can you board us?
Is that all? No answer as to the type of injury?
I don't get it, Doc. She's laying to just off the starboard, and they still keep sending the same message.
Lifeboat's ready, Doctor.
Coming.
Got all your gear?
All set. Let's go. As a rule, I don't excite easily, but I was hanging onto my little black bag like an intern on his first ambulance case. Maybe it was the hour, the gray hour at sea that is suspended between day and night. As we pulled away from our ship, I could just barely make out the schooner heeling to a wandering current. She was a 42-footer, and from her high bow, she sloped away neatly in a sweeping, sheer line to a trim, square stern. The Sidon. The name seemed to fit her, aloof and aristocratic. We pulled alongside.
That the doctor?
Yes, give us a hand, will you?
All right, men, ship your oars. Steady, Doc.
You on board here, take my bag. Olson, give me a hand with a stretcher.
Right.
Watch your step there. Easy.
Yeah, thanks. Well, there we are. Now, where's the patient?
He's below. What'd you bring the stretcher for?
Who are you?
I'm the owner. Felix Arouge is the name. You can't take him off this boat. He's too weak.
I'll decide that. Come on, Olson.
Come on, Doc.
We went below. The main cabin was lined in Honduras mahogany. Everything was custom built, even the galley that we passed through on our way to the stateroom forward, where I found my patient, an old man, and with him, a girl.
Oh, Doctor, I'm so glad you're here. Joseph. Joseph. Joseph, the doctor. He's here.
Oh. Doctor, thank heaven.
Easy now. Easy. You'll be all right.
Doctor, he had an accident. He's terribly ill. I've been so worried.
Please. Bad shock. Pulse pretty low.
You're not going to take him away, are you?
Away? No, can't.
Oh, easy now. Have you enough oil aboard to reach Havana if the wind doesn't hold?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Olson.
Yeah, Doc?
You go on back. This man's in no condition to be moved.
What about you?
I'll meet the ship in Havana. We ought to be in there sometime tomorrow.
But the skipper thinks...
I'll take the responsibility.
Okay. You're the doctor.
All right, let's have a look here. Easy now. Who bandaged him?
I did.
You did a good job.
Talk.
No, don't try to talk. How long has he been this way?
2 days.
2 days?
The wound, Doctor, I'm afraid it's...
Yes, it's a nasty one. Deep and infected. Who did the surgery on him?
Surgery?
Who probed for the bullet?
Bullet? There was no bullet. He was injured while splicing a backstay with a marlin spike.
He was what?
You see, he was carrying the marlin spike in his hand when Felix had to come about unexpectedly. It threw him off balance and he fell.
Hand me my bag.
What's the matter?
You're like a parrot I used to own. Your sea talk is too glib.
It's the truth, I tell you.
I've dug out too many bullets not to recognize the kind of mess they make.
It was a marlin spike.
Yes, well, you can yell marlin spike all the way to Havana, but it isn't going to change my report.
Report? No bullet. Marlin spike.
Lie back now.
Marlin.
This won't hurt.
What?
Just
Is it?
a hypodermic.
No, dope. I don't want it.
But I've got to probe. You can't take it if you're conscious.
No anesthetic. Only brandy.
Doctor, give him the anesthetic.
Oh, no. You'd like that, wouldn't you, Stephanie?
You're out of your mind, Joseph. I just want to save you the pain, and the doctor...
Get him the brandy.
But, Doctor,
It's his body. If that's what he wants, that's the way he'll have it. Now get the brandy.
Thank you. And, Doctor...
Yes?
Send Stephanie away. Don't want her around me.
She went away, but she didn't like it. And I got to work. The old man didn't say a word all the time I probed. He just moaned and gritted his teeth. I found the bullet all right, and then I powdered the wound with sulfur and bandaged it. I could see I'd have my hands full just to keep him together until we got to Havana. For the next couple of hours, I was pretty busy, and it was well after 10 o'clock when I felt it was safe to leave him and go up on deck to catch a smoke. Halfway up the companionway, I ran into Felix Arouge on his way down. I hadn't got a good look at him when I first came aboard, but now I did. Heavy, dark, bony face with a black mole on his cheek, fine flannel slacks rolled to his knees, and for a belt, a gaudy necktie. Against the polished brass and teak deck of the schooner, he was as incongruous as a herring in caviar.
Well, Doc, how's the old boy? Is he going to kick off?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I think he's going to be all right.
You think, or do you know?
I'm only a doctor. I've done everything I can for him. Wait a minute. Where are you going?
I want to see him. I got to talk to him.
I wouldn't advise it.
Since when are you giving the orders around here?
Since I came aboard. I don't want him disturbed. He needs to rest.
Yeah. You got any objections if I get myself a cup of coffee?
No, so long as you stay away from my patient.
Oh, I didn't hear you come up.
You handle the wheel like an old salt.
Oh, I don't know much about it. I just do what Felix tells me. How's Joseph? You've been down there such a long time, I thought that maybe...
That he died?
What a horrible thing to say. Of course not.
Who is Joseph? Your husband?
No, I'm his secretary.
Oh, then this is a business trip.
In a way. Doctor, what are you getting at?
Did you shoot him?
Why would I shoot him and then call for a doctor out here in the middle of the ocean?
I don't know, and after tomorrow, I won't care. You realize, of course, my report to the authorities in Havana will be according to my own findings.
I suppose so. May I have a cigarette?
Oh, certainly. Here you are.
Thank you. I have a light. I don't imagine there's any way of changing your mind. Is there, Doctor?
This is a beautiful schooner. Belong to your boss?
Yes.
I wonder, you mind if I take the wheel for a while? It's been a long time since...
Oh, you know how to sail?
Yeah, I used to back in Maine.
All right, go ahead.
Feels good. Yeah, she sure handles like a dream. Uh-huh. Just as I thought.
What's wrong, Doctor?
We're not headed for Havana. We're headed in the opposite direction. The Sidon was racing along with sails full, but she wasn't sailing due east to Havana. The compass said she was sailing southwest, away from Havana as fast as wind and sail could take her. I laid her on the starboard tack and started to bring her about. The sails bellied out, catching the wind as it shifted across the bow. And then as they started to fill away, the mainmast boom swung over. Just as I ducked to avoid it, a shot rang out. I put up my hand to steady myself against the main boom. And there in the wood, right where my head would have been if I hadn't ducked, was the bullet. Across the deck, silhouetted in the light of the companionway, stood Felix, polishing his gun with a handkerchief.
You shouldn't tack, Doctor, when a man's cleaning his gun.
Cleaning your gun in the dark in the middle of the night?
I suppose it is dangerous. I see you don't like our course.
I was under the impression this craft was bound for Havana.
That's right, Doc, we are.
Then why are we sailing southwest?
Southwest? That's a woman for you. Can't trust them behind the wheel of a car, and they're no better behind the wheel of a boat.
Oh, no, Felix. You don't blame me for that. I don't know anything about a course. I did what you told me.
Then why didn't you do it right?
If I'm so incompetent, maybe you'd better handle it yourself.
Maybe I will.
as the Sidon pushed its way through the serenity of the night, carrying with it an incredible tension. I didn't know what their game was. The lies, the marlin spike, nocturnal gun cleaning, change of course, who they were or what they meant to each other. But one thing was certain. I intended to get to Havana if it was the last thing I ever did. And to make sure it wasn't the last thing, this was one night I wouldn't sleep. I went down to the old man's stateroom where I'd left my bag to get some Benzedrine. While I was there, I checked on him. Considering his age, he had a lot of stamina. He was sleeping quietly. He wouldn't need me. I opened the bag, took the tablets, and suddenly my hand stopped in midair. My hypodermic needle, loaded with the anesthetic that Joseph had refused, was gone.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, we keep reminding you that this fall you'll hear them all on CBS. But there's one Sunday night show that makes you think constantly that it's spring. It's the show that brings you the hilarious adventures of that capricious teenage charmer, Corliss Archer. Youth and love and a definite springtime madness well up in Corliss's adventures every Sunday night, bewitching, bothering, and bewildering her parents, the neighbors, her teachers, and her boyfriends. For a show that's filled to the brim with charm and good humor and very funny adventure, meet Corliss Archer every Sunday night on most of the same CBS network stations.
Tune in this fall for the shows that you love best of all. Listen carefully, here's the address. It's CBS.
And now back to Escape and the second act of The Sure Thing.
My hypodermic needle, loaded with the anesthetic that Joseph had refused, was gone. I tore the bag apart, took everything out, but it wasn't there. It wasn't anywhere in the stateroom. One of them had stolen it. Why? To use on the old man? On me? I went back up on deck. Felix was at the wheel. I knew it was futile to ask him if he'd taken my needle.
What's the matter? Can't you sleep? Or are you still worried about the course? See, we're sailing due east.
Very commendable. Mind if I take the wheel a while?
No, I don't mind at all. But keep her due east, Doctor. I want to get to Havana.
I watched his truculent, broad back as he moved across the deck and disappeared below. The moon was as bright as day and as reassuring. It drove the worry of the missing hypodermic needle away from the front of my mind. It was good to be alone, to feel the sure swiftness of the boat under my feet. This was something to cling to. This was reality. Every knot closer to Havana. The sails swung out, covering the moon, throwing everything into blackness. That's why I didn't realize at first anyone was approaching until I saw the glow of the cigarette. I tensed myself. My hand clutched at something in the cockpit. It was a wrench. The cigarette moved closer. I waited. The sail bellowed back, and I saw her, full in the moonlight. There was strength and defiance in the way she held her footing against the wind, but there was no defiance in her voice.
I have to talk to you.
Go ahead, talk.
I'm afraid I haven't been very honest with you.
No, I'm afraid you haven't.
I lied to you, and I realize now how foolish it was, but... Doctor, I'm afraid of Felix.
Are you trying to tell me it was Felix who shot the old man?
Yes, and he made me lie about it.
Like you lied about the course?
You'll never get to Havana. He's letting you think that you're getting there now, but he'll figure out something.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, if that target practice a few moments ago was any sample.
Oh, he wasn't trying to kill you. Felix wouldn't kill you now, not as long as Joseph needs you. I mean...
You know, you're not making sense again. Felix wants me to keep Joseph alive, and yet Felix shot Joseph.
It was just in a fit of anger, an argument. Felix has a terrible temper. Why, he'd be a fool to kill Joseph.
What makes Joseph so valuable?
I suppose I should tell you all of it.
No, it might be a good idea.
I told you the truth about one thing, at least. I am his secretary. Only his name isn't just Joseph. It's Joseph Ingram.
Ingram? No wonder his face was familiar. He's the big aviation tycoon. Yeah, but look, Ingram was killed 2 weeks ago. I read about it in the papers. A transcontinental airplane crashed into a mountain.
Yes. Even fate works for him. We were on our way to Washington. He'd been subpoenaed to have his war contracts investigated. Oh, the public was really worked up about it. He was a cinch to be indicted. Why, even his own wife left him after 20 years of marriage. But as luck would have it, we got off the plane at Albuquerque to answer a wire from his attorneys.
But the radio and the newspapers obituaried him to death.
I know. That's how things happened for him. Apparently, there was just no record of us leaving the plane, and they only found half the survivors, and some of those they couldn't identify.
Now, go on.
Well, when Joseph realized that he was officially dead, he saw the way out. He phoned Felix in Florida to have the sit-in ready, and we took a train down and boarded her there.
Yeah, I see, but I don't...
Well, why do you think I'm on this boat? Do you think I wanted to come? Do you think I wanted to leave my whole life behind? I was forced to come. I was the only one who knew that Joseph was still alive. And now you know.
What about Felix?
Oh, Felix, he does odd jobs, as it were, for Joseph. And Joseph owns Felix, body and soul, just as he owns everyone who works for him.
And, you?
I was ambitious. I ought to hate Joseph, but it's not his fault. I saw a chance to go further with him than with any other man. Only I'd known how it would end. Running away from everything. Always to be afraid.
Well, if that's it, then I was wrong. Then maybe the needle isn't meant for Joseph.
Needle? What needle?
The hypodermic needle loaded with anesthetic. It's missing from my bag. If it isn't meant for Joseph or for me, it's meant for you.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He can't. He wouldn't.
I'm afraid we'll have to be more realistic.
We?
If you'll forgive the pun, I'm afraid we're both in the same boat. There was desperation on her face, and I felt sorry for her. She was in this mess up to her neck, and she was afraid. And yet it was good having her beside me there in the cockpit. It was pleasant to be with her. Just the two of us, and the moon and the sea. Well, anyway, the hypodermic needle was the farthest thing from my mind when I took her in my arms. And then it happened. I felt the sting of it pierce my flesh. The needle! You...
What are you talking about?
The needle. You stuck me with it.
Needle? Oh, I'm sorry. It was just my brooch. It's always coming open.
Brooch? I thought...
Silly. Fasten it for me, will you, please?
Yeah, sure, yes, of course.
Why, you're shaking.
Well, it's that missing hypodermic. It has me rattled. I've got to get it back.
You'll get it back?
Yes, but when? How?
Right now, Doctor. Like this.
She used the needle deftly. In one motion, plunged it in my arm. I tried to struggle to my feet. Her face was mocking me. I grabbed for her, but the drug was warm and deadening. And after a blurred moment, I was gone.
Can't you ever do anything right? You stupid fisherman!
I could hear them from a long ways off. I came to slowly. Then I lay there listening.
Well, you bungled it again.
I only did what you told me to do. You're the one who's bungled it.
It's a good thing I caught you
They
before
were
you
both
kicked him
standing
overboard.
over me, working on me, doing everything they could to bring me to.
Now you've spoiled everything.
You...
Why did you have to rush things?
You want to know where the money is, don't you?
Well, you haven't found out, and now maybe you won't. If you'd left Joseph alone. Oh, but no, you couldn't wait. As soon as the doctor was unconscious, you had to work him over. If Joseph dies out, we'll never find out where he hid it.
It's on this boat, I know that. And I didn't hurt him, I just pushed him around a little.
Oh, that stupid temper of yours, that awful impatience. You'd think you could have waited for $2 million?
$2 million. Now it began to make some sense. Now everything made sense. As long as Joseph needed a doctor and wouldn't tell where the money was, we both lived. But if I couldn't keep him alive...
Get on your feet, Doc. Come on, Doc. Get on your feet.
Felix, easy.
Since when are you getting so touchy? Now, come on.
All right, I'm on my feet.
Welcome back, Doc. Now get below. The old man needs you. He's had a relapse. Stephanie, take the wheel. I said get below, Doc.
I'm not in the mood to take orders.
Maybe this'll put you in the mood.
Creased my chin with a short jab. My knees buckled. I swung at him and missed. I saw another one coming. This time I ducked and connected with a roundhouse on the side of his head that sent him reeling along the wet, narrow deck. I started after him, just as the boat came about violently, heeling over with her scuppers awash. I wildly grabbed a guy line just in time to see Felix thrown backwards into the sea. I whipped around. The girl had done it, spinning the wheel like crazy. I dashed back to the cockpit and tried to grab it away from her. She fought me like a tiger, but I finally pushed her off, righted the boat, and put her about. But Felix was nowhere in sight. We tacked around, searching for him, but it was useless. Well, he's gone. You killed him.
It was an accident. You ought to be glad he's gone.
Why?
Well, it was either him or you.
Your concern touches me.
Besides, we don't need him, don't you see? You know how to handle a boat, and you're a doctor. You can keep Joseph alive until we make him talk. And when we find out where his money is, we can get rid of him.
And sail away into the sunset, huh?
That's right. Just you and me.
Yeah. No thanks. I'll play out the original hand in Havana.
I don't think so, Doctor. I'm setting the course now. And if you're interested, I'm a much better shot than Felix. I won't hit the boom.
The gun glittered in the moonlight, and she was smiling at me. But I wasn't looking at her, but beyond her. At first, I wasn't sure. I just sensed the movement. And then I saw him. Joseph Ingram, barefooted and in pajamas, pulling himself painfully up the companionway, forcing his body to make the effort.
Joseph!
You wanted too much, Stephanie. My money and Felix's you.
Felix is gone. He had an accident.
Like mine, I suppose. If only I hadn't been so greedy. If only you'd waited, you'd have gotten your share.
Joseph, you're sick.
You were such a little fool, Stephanie. In the heel of my shoe is a draft on the National Bank of Venezuela for $2 million, payable to bearer.
So that's where it is. Thank you, Joseph. That's very generous of you.
I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't been watching. A bullet in the stomach, yet he kept coming at her, lumbering barefooted across the deck like a wounded bear in blue silk pajamas.
Not so easy.
She backed away from him, emptying her gun at him, but he kept coming.
Not so easy.
She was at the edge of the deck as he collapsed against her, his heavy arms in a death grip around her. And like a cartwheel, they spun together over the side into the inky blackness of the sea. $2 million in the heel of a shoe. Yeah, it was in the heel of the shoe, all right. I went below and found it. Just a piece of paper that 3 people had died over. $2 million, certified backwards and forwards, payable to bearer. In just a few hours, it would be daylight. I could be in Havana by noon. Back to the Martina. Back to the dispensary. Back to the endless round of seasick pills, hangover remedies, and, when I'm lucky, maybe a sprained ankle. Or Venezuela. The choice was simple. There was no risk at all. It was a cinch. It was a sure thing. It was payable to bearer.
Good afternoon, senor. I'm sorry I've kept you waiting. You presented this bank draft for payment, senor?
Yes. Are you Senor Perez?
That is right. I am the president of the bank. This draft, it is quite a large sum.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the draft, is there?
No, senor, it is in order.
Good.
And you wish us to transfer this money to your bank in the United States?
No. As a matter of fact, I wish to open an account here.
But certainly. Gomez, you will make the arrangements for the senor.
Oh, si, Senor Perez, at once.
And now, there is a lady, a countrywoman of yours waiting to see you. Please, step this way, senor.
To see me? But who?
Oh, Joseph, I've been waiting so long. Senor Perez, is this the man who presented the draft for payment?
Si, senor.
But he isn't. Then what's happened to Joseph?
Who?
Joseph Ingram, of course.
Senor Perez, who is this woman? What is she doing here?
Well, I heard the Sidon had come in this morning with only one person aboard, so I rushed right here to the bank. But you've cashed the draft. What have you done? Killed Joseph for it?
Look, madam, I don't know what you're talking about. Just who are you, anyway?
I'm Joseph Ingram's wife.
Mrs. Ingram? But then, well, surely you know he died in that plane crash back in the States.
He didn't, and you know it. Joseph wasn't on that plane. He boarded the Sidon in Florida.
Now, look, madam, all the newspapers
Joseph and
made
I
it...
planned the whole thing. Those highly publicized statements about our divorce were just a cover-up. He was to meet me here with the money. And I know he would have if he were still alive. Senor Perez, will you call the police? I accuse this man of murdering my husband.
Si, senor.
I didn't kill him. She killed him.
She?
Stephanie, his secretary.
And where is she?
She's dead, too. He killed her.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Where is Felix Arouge?
Well, you see, Felix, he was killed when he...
Yes?
Well, you see, it was like... I stopped. They were staring at me. They didn't believe me, of course. Who would ever believe me? But it had seemed like such a sure thing. And it was. Murder. Payable to bearer.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented The Sure Thing by John and Gwen Bagney. Featured in the cast were John Hoyt as the doctor, Bill Conrad as Felix Arouge, Fay Baker as Stephanie, and Ian Wolfe as Joseph Ingram. Also heard were Don Diamond, Ted DeCorsia, and Sarah Selby. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week...
You're within a few days of your release after 8 years of horror on the prison island of New Caledonia. But between you and final freedom stands the love of a beautiful girl and the monstrous figure of Monsieur Deneux, the official executioner.
Next week, we escape with John Russell's terrifying story, The Red Mark. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. A whole family of top Hollywood stars waits to entertain your family every Sunday on CBS. It's on the Family Hour of Stars, heard over most of these same CBS stations. A half hour of top entertainment, romance, comedy, or drama, starring Irene Dunn, Ronald Colman, Loretta Young, Dana Andrews, Kirk Douglas, and Jane Wyman in turn. Your whole family will enjoy the Family Hour of Stars Sunday on CBS, where this fall you'll hear them all. Stay tuned now for Sing It Again, which follows immediately over most of the same CBS stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.